Hello guys, welcome to another video. Today we're making three signings that will improve each Big Six team. Hope you're ready, so let's dive in. The first player on this list will be Viktor Gyökeres. I've said it again, Viktor Gyökeres is one of the best deals to make this summer. For a fee around 60 million, I think every Big Six club should even look at him, especially Liverpool, Arsenal, and Chelsea who are looking for a striker. Even Manchester United, we know that Ruben Amorim knows him very well. He's an athletic striker. I think he can fit in the Premier League. He has already played in England, but which team needs the most striker? For me, that's Arsenal. For me, I think Arsenal needs the most striker, and I think he will bring in something that Mikel Arteta will use very well. I know that Saka will be happy to have a player that he can feed balls. So Victor Gyökeres for me to Arsenal is a move that makes absolute sense. And the next player on this list is Tijjani Reijnders. To be honest, Tijjani Reijnders is one of my favorite midfielders this season. He has really shown that he has great qualities. He's really good on the ball. He plays like a sort of box to box. He can play very offensive, but he also helps with his defensive also abilities. He can play like in deep roles, like as an eight in a double pivot. And I think there is a team that's crying for a midfielder like this. I think that it's time for a revolution in midfield for a certain team, and this team is Manchester City. We've seen that they are linked to Tijjani Reijnders, and they've chosen the perfect profile they need because I think with Kevin De Bruyne leaving and Bernardo Silva, who might leave this summer, there is also Ilkay Gundogan, who's past his prime. I think they sort of need that eight at box to box who can also bring in goals from the midfield. So for me, Tijjani Reijnders for around 60 million for me, that's a bargain. So for me, Tijjani Reijnders to Manchester City will be a move that makes those sense. And the next player I've added to this list, I haven't seen any rumor about him, but it's Douglas Luiz. I think almost everyone forgot how he was a quality player in the Premier League. I don't forget that there are many teams like Manchester City who want to bid over 60 million for him when he was at Villa. He's a leader, and one bad season at Juventus for me doesn't tell the whole story, especially in that Juventus team. I believe he still has qualities to play in the Premier League. I believe that he can still be the main midfielder for Premier League. So, guys, another move that has to happen is from people who are not subscribed to subscribe. I've seen a lot of you are watching my videos but are not yet subscribed. Please, guys, subscribe for more football content. Let's get back to the video. And for me, I think Manchester United needs a player like him in midfield. They have Manuel Ugarte, which is really great player, but I think in that double pivot, they lack a sort of number eight who's good on the ball, who can play those long balls. He's also a sort of leader who was a captain at Aston Villa. And I don't think that Juventus will ask a crazy fee. I think you can even send him on loan. So for me, a loan for Douglas Luiz to play back in the Premier League, for me, it's a move that would be great for Manchester United. And the next player we have on this list is Eberechi Eze. For me, one of my favorite players to see this season. Really good on the ball, technical ability, excellent. And now he's become clutch also because he's scoring important goals for Crystal Palace. We've seen the victory in the FA Cup. But I think Eberechi Eze will leave this summer because I think there is a team in the Premier League that needs his profile, needs a player like him. And for me, that team is Tottenham. Tottenham will lose heung this summer. I think they need someone on the left who can bring in what Son actually did, which was a lot of goals, but also a lot of assists, a lot of creativity. For me, Eberechi Eze fits that role perfectly. So for me, adding a quality player like Eze to his team brings them even to another level. So Eberechi Eze to Tottenham for me is my first move for Tottenham. What about the other Crystal Palace player, Marc Guéhi? Marc Guéhi has been linked to several clubs in the Premier League. I've seen rumors linking him to Chelsea, seen rumors linking him to Tottenham, who are really interested. there is a team that actually needs for a footed center back, and that team is Chelsea. We know that Marc Guéhi is from Chelsea. I don't think it will be difficult to convince him. So for me, Marc Guéhi to Chelsea is a move that makes total sense, and for me, that's an upgrade on Levi Colwill. What about Alexander Isak? And for me, Alexander Isak, again, there is my video that I made about Liverpool, explaining how he fits in so well in that Liverpool team. The pressing starts, his goal scoring starts, he would even make the players around him better. So if there is a move that Liverpool have to make to become champions again, for me, Alexander Isak is the priority signing. What about Florian Wirtz? In the last few days, we've seen rumors linking Florian Wirtz to Liverpool, and it's making a lot of sense right now. In Liverpool, it's different. Liverpool needs to shift their creativity from Trent to another player, and they have understood it so well. So that's why they're on Florian Wirtz. For me, you're losing Trent, who's not only one of the best fullback in the last few years, but who's also one of the best player marker in the Premier League. So bringing in Florian Wirtz, who had some creativity, some technique, some flair in that team, for me, it's a dream move. For me, that's a dream move. And I think Florian Wirtz, for me, it will happen for me. So Florian Wirtz to Liverpool is a top move. What about Xavi Siemens? Uh, there is a lot of rumors linking Xavi Siemens to the PL teams. We know that he'll officially leave RB Leipzig this season. For me, Xavi Siemens will be a great player. A team that keeps possession, a team where they play also a number 10 because he's sort of a winger but likes to cut in and play in those central roles. And I think there is a team that's vying for a profile like him also in the Premier League. And for me, Man City has to go all out for Xavi Simons. He'll add creativity, he'll add some flair, he'll really add some magic in that team. And for me, Xavi Simons to Man City makes a lot of sense. My next player on this list is Angel Gomes. Angel Gomes has passed the last few seasons in Liga. He's established him as the one of the best midfielders in the league. Really great number 8, can also play as a 6. And I think he's evolved in his playing style. I think moving to Liga helped him to advance his career. We know that he was a promising talent at Manchester United. And I think it's time to bring him back in the league, especially for the conditions around him. So signing Angel Gomez would be free. So for me, there is a team that has to tempt this deal. I think there is a team in uh, in London that's needs a bit of creativity in the midfield. So for me, Angel Gomez to Tottenham would upgrade even their midfield. The next player on this list is Milos Kerkez. If you've seen my channel, you know that I'm a big fan of Milos Kerkez. He's one of the best fullbacks in the Premier League. I believe that he's ready for a top move. He's only asking for a top move, and we know that he's ready for, especially one team in particular. I've seen recent rumors linking him to Manchester City, but I think they are late in that one because I think Liverpool are signing Milos Kerkez and for a fee around 43 million. For me, that's a move that has to happen. What about Andrey Santos? Andrey Santos, to be honest, is one of my favorite players to watch this season. I've talked about the 5 underdog teams that have impressed me this season, and I've talked about a bit Strasbourg. If you haven't seen the video, I'll put it at the end too, so that you can watch. He's a sort of also box to box, but really good on the ball. But his first quality, I think his passing range is really great. And I think there is a team that needs a sort of player who can play as a 8, but also as a 6, especially with Thomas Partey leaving, and that team is Arsenal. So for me, Andrey Santos, one of the best players in league really this season, has to go to Arsenal because I know that there is no place for him at Chelsea. What about Viktor Osimhen? He's one of the hottest deals this summer. I believe that it's time that Viktor Osimhen comes back to the Premier League because there is a top player in him. I think that there is a top player in him that's shown this season. I know that it's the Turkish league, but I don't forget what he has done in league. I don't forget what he has done in Napoli in Serie A. He's really good, athletic. He's a good finisher also, and I don't think he'll flop in the Premier League. But the problem is his wage demands. And if there is a team that can pay those wages and can a bit of negotiate those wages, that team is Chelsea. For me, we know that he's a fan of Chelsea, and Chelsea are crying for a striker like him. I believe that Viktor Osimhen for around 60 million for me, it's a deal that makes a lot of sense for especially Chelsea. What about Rodrygo? I've said it again. Rodrygo is a top player for me. If there is a Brazilian that has to win a Ballon d'Or in the next years for me, I believe that will be Rodrygo. That's how I rate him. I think he can upgrade most of the teams in the Premier League. And if Rodrygo happens to leave, which team do you see him joining? I want to hear your comment. I believe that Rodrygo has to come and start for a team in the Premier League left wing position, and I think he'll bring in creativity, but he'll also bring in goals. I think Rodrygo is capable of scoring a lot of goals. I know that he hasn't really surpassed more than 10 goals in La Liga. There's maybe one season he scored more than 10 goals in La Liga. But I remember that he hasn't always been the first choice and he has always played out of position. Rodrigo, I think his best role is left wing or as a number 10. And I believe that he would make really Arsenal dangerous. I think that's the type of player that Arsenal has to go if they want to win the Premier League. Mark this, if Rodrigo signs at Arsenal, Arsenal are winning the league next season. So Rodrigo for me to Arsenal is a move that will be a game changer. What about Joan Garcia, one of the best goalkeepers in La Liga this season? He has really shown his abilities as a goalkeeper. I think he's really a good one for the future. And so for me, Joan Garcia to Chelsea makes a lot of sense. What about Rayan Aït-Nouri? Rayan Aït-Nouri has been one of my preferred left backs in the league for a few seasons. He's really great on the ball. He's also fast. I think he doesn't really has any weakness to his game. For me, Rayan Aït-Nouri to Manchester City would be a top move for their left back position. What about the other Wolverhampton player, Matheus Cunha? One of my favorite players, honestly. I remember when he was playing at Leipzig. For me, I thought he would be the sort of Firmino replacement. I really love how he's really good on the ball. He's he's a leader also. I think he's really saved Wolverhampton from relegation. Uh, he's capable to do everything. He's good on the ball. He can score goals. He also fits in that sort of number 10 role behind the striker. For me, I think that's his best role. He can bring in goals. He can also create goals for his teammates. Technical ability, incredible. He's Brazilian, of course. Big Portuguese. So you know very well. He's going to Manchester United. For me, that's a top move for Ruben Amorim. What about Liam Delap? For me, Liam Delap is one of the most interesting deals also to make this summer. There is a fee around 30 million for Liam Delap, who's the most promising striker in the Premier League for me. I think top teams has to go for him. Uh, I know that Manchester United are obsessed with Viktor Gyökeres, especially what he has done with their manager, Ruben Amorim. But if there is a player that Manchester United has to go, for me, that's Liam Delap. And I think he would fit in what Manchester United is trying to do. So for me, Liam Delap to Manchester United is a deal that makes no sense. And you've seen it, of course, there is Bryan and Mbeumo that's remaining for me. I think Bryan and Mbeumo is really underrated. I think Bryan and Mbeumo deserve to go to even a better team. Not that I think Brentford is not a top team. I think Brentford is really a good Premier League side. We've replaced Son's creativity with Eberechi Eze. There's also players like Kulusevski. There's players like Madison that Tottenham signed, but we don't really have a goal scoring winger in that team. The most scoring player, I think it's Brennan Johnson this season in the Premier League with 12 goals, if I'm not wrong. So bring in a player who will score goals, who will also he's really good on the ball, and he can play in the three positions up front for me. Bryan and Mbeumo to Tottenham makes a lot of sense, and I think that's the type of winger who can, who can score a lot of goals that Tottenham needs in order to replace also in Son. So for me, Bryan and Mbeumo staying in the Premier League, playing in a better side that can compete for Europe and maybe for a trophy also in the next season. For me, that's a top move for him, and that's really a top move for Tottenham. But it will cost a lot. I think Bryan and Mbeumo, his fee would be probably around 60, 70 millions, and I think it's worth it for Tottenham. So Bryan and Mbeumo to take the Tottenham will be at the top move. So guys, I want you to let me know in the comments which of these dream moves would you like your team to make this summer, and send me also at home which moves you would like to see happening this summer. Maybe I can rank them in a tier list. Also, if you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe for more football content, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.